Greetings and salutations, Tube Dwellers. Welcome back to Heart of the Swarm. I'm going to cast a game from replay for you today. It's going to be against this gentleman right here, Zil Silence, the Protoss player. Oh, Zerg versus Protoss. I've had some changes in my take on how this should work lately. The map is Xeris Prime. TE standing for Tournament Edition, which includes a number of changes that were suggested by a number of tournament organizers to Blizzard. Blizzard, I'm not sure poll is the right word, but asked a bunch of tournament hosts like MLG and GSL to provide them with changes that they normally made to Blizzard maps, and then Blizzard just started making those changes themselves, and so the TE map series has been introduced, Tournament Edition. So here we are on Xeris Prime TE. Silence is going to be your red Protoss in the bottom right, and your host, the Mad Bag, will be the blue Zerg in the bottom left. Silence sending out his probe scout. No, oh, maybe. Is he? What? Where? What? How do I cannon this ramp? This ramp's too huge. I can't cannon a ramp that big. Oh my. Wait a second. Is this my natural? Is this my natural? Is that my natural? I don't know. Oh god, let's just build the pylon on the high ground. Wow. So I played this game not long ago, but that genuinely surprises me. I had no idea that apparently this is his first time playing on this map. Either that or he didn't recall what he should be doing. This is your natural. As you can see, this is your main ramp. It goes right down to your natural. And this is actually a really small choke. This is like a 2-building choke. I think Terrans could probably even do like a barracks and then like a supply depot to choke this. So really small natural choke. It is low ground though, so you don't have the advantage of, say, if Terran walls off in their main, they have the advantage of this high ground where units have to come up to right about here before they can even see these structures to fire at them. Whereas out here, you could fire on them from, I don't know, whenever you have range. Little confusion in poor Mr. Silence about exactly where he should put his wall. It looks like he did choose his main. I'm going to go pool first, hatchery shortly after. Pretty standard against Protoss. If he opens with the forge, he can do some cannon shenanigans on my natural. Opening with the pool first ensures that that doesn't happen. Plus, if he would have scouted well, and it looks like he's also unaware that there are no vertical spawns in this. If you as Protoss spawn down here, your opponent cannot spawn up here. It must be one of these two over here. Same thing with Zerg. If I spawn here, my opponent has to be in one of these two. He checked up there first anyway. I guess better safe than sorry. If you don't know, why not check it? It's not a huge delay. I was going to say, though, if you scout quickly with Protoss, if you scout correctly, you can get over here fast enough to delay even a 15 hatch, even a hatchery before pool. So the pool's standard in CVP, and that's what I went for, and it looks like I've spotted him out with my Overlord Scout. Very economic scout, as it doesn't require a worker. He's a little bit nervous about potential early pressure. Wow, this is a really strange formation here. He got the forge, and I'm going to wander right in and see all of it. Okay, good. I'm glad I pulled back there. Could be dangerous. It looks like he wanted to do a forge expand, but didn't know exactly what was up with this natural, so he went ahead and put it in the main. This is very odd, very inefficient. This puts him at a bit of a deficit already in the beginning of the game. Now, he is following up directly with the Cyber Core, so just that he got this forge, it even delays his tech. Like, if he would have just went Gateway Cyber Core, he would be ahead of where he is now. So, not only is he behind on the expansion, he's also behind on the Cybernetics Core. And, my god, it looks like I'm whipping the third out pretty immediately. I saw the forge with the Overlord. Forge included plays, even if they're in the main, are almost never one-base plays. If he was doing a one-base play, I would not want this third. It would be a liability, and he would likely be able to kill it with a 4-gate pretty easily. He is expanding, though, as indicated by the forge, which is very good for me. I would not like to fight a one-base Protoss, especially when I think he's a 2+ base Protoss. If I know he's a 1-base Protoss, well then, bring it on. That would be beautiful. I would love to fight a 1-base Protoss that I know is just going to be a cheesy 1-baser. Oh, probe production on the halt. Not cool. Seeing some ill omens. Seeing some real ill omens. That's a full wall. These gateways disallow me from getting through there. However, it looks like I've got just enough Zerglings on this gateway. It's going to force the cancel. And I'm going to be a butthole. With the probe there, I think the Zealot and the probe could just about deal with all these Lings. It would be really close. Oh, and he walled his Zealot out. He does have the Zealot in a nice little corner. Oh, I tried to micro that Zergling back. Oh, that one worked. And that one, oh yeah. One Zergling for one Zealot and a cancel on a gateway. I will make that trade. They're all low, but they'll be healed before they see combat again. His Nexus is out. It's wrapping up, but after my third base. Oof! I am doubling him on the food count right now. You know, if I knew exactly how far behind this all had set him, I could probably go for a kill move. I could go for just some roaches, no upgrades, and probably put the pressure on him and kill him. As is, I'm taking the small advantage that he gave me, and I'm turning it into a big advantage. I am doubling him up on worker count. And that's huge. I'm getting all the queens out I want to. I've got 3, and I'm building more. 1 more, so looks like I'm going to go up to about 4. Larva and Jex seem to be running pretty consistently. I guess this queen's got a little bit much energy. Now, is he going to do a gateway pressure? Generally, when you're behind like this, you want to do something to equalize a Stargate. Okay, looks like that's going to be his plan instead. If you find your build off somewhat, a lot of times it's good to do something kind of desperate, I guess is what I want to say. Some Dark Templar might not be a bad idea, because if he catches me off guard, it can take you from way behind and even the match up, or maybe even give you a lead. Now, it's one of those high-risk, high-reward kind of moves. The reward, sure, is great. You could equalize the game after putting yourself in a disadvantage by delaying your first pylon and then building a forge first. But the risk is that I could potentially respond to it really well and keep it from doing any damage, in which case you go from being way behind to way, way behind. I'm not sure he's going to go for anything super risky, though. He does have the Stargate up. As a part of the Swarm, this is becoming more and more standard play, though. I'm not sure I'd call Stargate standard just straight out, but you can do a lot of non-cheesy things with the Stargate. Oh my. And he's bringing in a Phoenix. It did do damage to my Overlord, and my Queen's doing damage to it pretty slowly, so I've got clear evidence that this is a real Phoenix, meaning that he has a real Stargate, and so the Spore Crawlers go up. It's possible that he's scouting me with 1 Phoenix just to put me at ease, make me think that he's going to just have some Phoenix in the mix, not really do a lot with them, but then use 2 Stargates on the back end to flood in here with a huge air armada. That's possible. That occurs to me as a possibility. So I'm going to put out at least a few air defenses. Here and there, Spore Crawlers. Double Robo, wow. Stargate into double Robo. It looks like this might be a trick play, and I actually kind of like this. Put out a Stargate, get a Phoenix to scout, let him know that it's a real Phoenix, so me as a Zerg player, I know there's a potential for Stargate pressure, and then go real fast and heavy into Robos. I'm sure that a lot of Zergs have been liking the use of Hydralisks as a timing against Protoss. And seeing the Stargate would make me as a Zerg player want to commit to that style, want me to do the Hydralisk style, and pressure him with Hydralisks, try to hit that timing window. If he switches over to Robos really quickly, though, then that closes that window up really quickly. Well, I should say if he goes straight to Colossi, and there it is, I was looking for it. Robotics Bay, Robotics Support Bay, now in action. Oh, his probe count is so atrocious, though. He's got a decent count down here. He could actually do with transferring a few of these up. He's going on the Immortals right now. It's not a bad idea to assume Immortals. He hasn't seen any roaches from me. I know that he hasn't seen them because they're just now hitting the map and moving over, and oh my, the army count shows a huge advantage for me. Now, I expect him to be taking his 3rd over here, and when you're behind, you do one of 2 things to try to get back into the game. You either play very aggressively with harassment or very aggressively with economy. So you either want to get a 3rd out real fast and just hope to God you can stave off his timing, or you want to get something cheesy out, like I mentioned the Dark Templars, and try to do enough damage to him to re-equalize. It doesn't look like he's opting for either, though. This double fast Robo I kind of look at as a Dark Templar-like play. If he can get out a big Colossi count quick and catch me off guard with it, Colossi can be really tough to deal with. If he can get like 4 Colossi, it can just mean a world of hurt for whatever I field on the ground. I would have to put something in the air. to be able to deal with it or just use counterattacks really well. Looks like I'm going to try to crack his base open. I would love to have 2 angles of attack here. He is aware, though. He's going to keep me from breaking down the rocks. I've got some forces in the front. He's got plenty of photon cannons. He knows he was behind in the early game. And he has put up appropriate defenses to try to keep himself alive. He knows it's going to be a tight defense because I've got such an advantage, assuming that my build didn't go as off track as his. And for the most part, it didn't. I've been playing pretty cleanly. A matter of fact, I've got +2 ranged already going, +2 carapace just began. He does have 1 damage. He's not following up with more, so I'm going to have the upgrade advantage, and I've got an army advantage. However, this little tech switch back and forth, I think, has given him quite the tech advantage. I'm aware of it, though. These Zerglings up here in the front did get hit by Colossi, and it looks like I fielded the Hydralisk Den, and I am going to go ahead and get upgrades, but I hope not to see. Yeah, I don't see any Hydralisks in production. I've actually got a Spire going up, too. The Hydralisks, I think, would be a really poor choice, because I've already seen the Colossi. I know that he could do nasty things with me, with a Hydralisk army in my hands. These Colossi would just roast it, make it incredibly cost inefficient. And now he wants to open his back door, so it looks like he doesn't want to take this third at all, the one that I'm setting on, of course. He wants to come over here and take this third. Now, I do have a couple Zerglings on patrol. I don't remember exactly where they're patrolling to and from. Oh, he's gonna go for a push. This is actually good timing. The 4 Colossi make it really nasty. This makes it a really nasty anti-ground army. And some Zerglings, these are kind of sacrificial. It'd be nice to not lose these as cost inefficiently as I am, but this has delayed him. That caused his push to take a lot more time to get moving. And now it is once again heading across the map, and it looks like I've got even more counterattacks in mind. I'm just taking some roaches out around the army, and I see this going by as I've got his watchtower. Let's see if my timing can be good enough to keep him from committing to the push, else this might become a base race. Oh, and it looks like he's watching. He sees them coming in, and he's instantly pulling back. So again, a delay tactic. Now the bad thing is that the position that these roaches are in, they're kind of caught. If they come out right now and go north, he could respond by taking his army north. There's basically no way these roaches can get out of the base. So I know that they're sacrificial. I'm going to get everything done that I can with them, and I'm spreading them out. I love this little bit of a spread. He did finally block some off in there, but oh, I am rocking his probe count on both sides. Let's check that out. He's down to 22. I'm up at that 70 range. That probe count I love to see. And he's not mining right now. Just now getting back to mining on the natural. He will clean all these up, and he'll lose almost no army to do it. And now you see, I'm in somewhat of a dangerous situation. Our food count is, well, it was equal for a second. And his army is way above mine because so much of my food advantage is purely in workers. I have a 40+ worker advantage. However, I'm fielding, and I've got 19 out. I'm still building, I'm just now building some Zerglings. I've got a lot of Mutalisks here. I'm not sure he's caught this transition. He doesn't even know that I have a Spire down because my Spire is right there. He's got some anti-air in the form of a couple Phoenixes and a decent Stalker count, but I have more Mutas than he has anti-air units. And suffice to say, that's not the most ideal situation as a Protoss. I've got a vulnerable base out here in the front. I have been larva injecting it, but I'm not using it for income at all. It looks like he's going to step right in here, and I don't have any mind to defend this. I'm not totally sure that I can just take this army at face value yet. I'm not sure I can just come smash it with the Mutas. It looks like I'm trying to open up my back door now so that I can get an ample surround. He needs to be chrono boosting these probes hard. This disadvantage, especially with him coming home, could easily lose him the game. In his defense, though, he doesn't know quite how set up I am. I've got contingency bases that I could transfer drones to, and I have a pretty immaculate drone count. 68 is not necessarily ideal. I could go a little higher than that, but it's a solid lead. It's everything I need to have the macro advantage. And the Mutalisks, I'm taking out the Twilight Council. This is going to keep him from getting a Templar Archives, unless he's already started it, and he hasn't. Templar are the best response to mass Muta. Now, I've got a huge cluster of Mutalisks here. It looks like I'm sitting at about 22 right now. A full box is 24. 8, 8, and 8. Oh, and he is so out of position with the Colossi. They're all alone with no anti-air. The Mutas! Oh my god, they wreck Colossi so fast. He is responding now. He's getting his anti-air in position, and it looks like I might be a little sacrificially minded with the Mutas. I'm going after these Colossi with reckless abandon. And now even after what little anti-air he has, and I'm invading the front, it looks like I paid some attention to that. That was a pure Ling army, though. And he actually does clean up my Mutalisks. This is a very dangerous spot for me. I wiped out all of his Colossi, which is a huge army deficit for him now. We can see that I've still lost more than he has, though. Oh, not good. I was hoping I could still catch his army out of position, but my timing was just so poor. Did he see them run down? I think he did. It looks like he apparently doesn't care, though. He's going to go straight for the counterattack. Oh, and I'm just going to keep him from taking his third. He wants to. My Zergling is just in the right position. Now, most of my Mutas went down. What am I sitting at? I have 10 Mutas still. That's not bad. And it looks like they're going for a counterattack still. I am building Roaches now. My army count is still lower than his. My god, the efficiency of Protoss engagements. With an advantage, I've still been disadvantaged in money spent in the engagements. This is a little soon. My Roaches aren't quite done yet. Oh, they're just starting to spawn. I would have really liked to not have those Zerglings engage alone, but it looks like the Roaches are going to do it for me. There are quite a few spawning here. These are all Roaches. And his army doesn't stand a chance. He's down to a third and less of my supply. Wall some Mutalisks. It looks like I was taking out some Pylons, but again, went a little suicidal with the Mutas. Lost the Mutalisks. Put him in a kind of bad way, but not as bad as it could be for him. This is about as bad as it could be for him. He does not have an immortal count to speak of. He does not have Colossi. He does have one Void Ray, which none of this can shoot up, so the one Void Ray could eventually kill this entire army. That would take a very long time, though. Let's see what he's got for defense. Doesn't look like it's necessarily a whole lot. Pylon goes down immediately. It looks like I'm happy to fight some buildings off here. He is getting Colossi out. 2 Colossi. It's no small number either. Oh, and the Photon Overcharge and the Photon Cannons, and then the Colossi come out. Oh, it's too much. I've got to get out. Again, with a very small army, he's able to just control the engagement and keep me from doing the damage I need to be doing. Roaches on Colossi, I like that. Nothing to soak the damage for the Colossi, but I just don't have enough Roaches. God, it's close. It's so close. In the meantime, my hive has completed. The Greater Spire is going, and somewhere around here, yeah, there's an Ultralisk Cavern. Oh, looks like I'm just whipping the tech out. All sorts of tech. He's still in such a bad way on workers. I don't understand how this entire game he's been on 30 workers and holding me off. He knows he's in a bit of a desperate situation. He knows he has to get more damage to me than just taking out a 4th base. A 4th base that I wasn't even mining at. And it looks like I do actually have some drones over there mining now. Oh, it's just too slow to cancel. Totally should have canceled that if I could. Just didn't happen though, so once again the 4th falls. I guess that's kind of my 6th, as this is a 4th and 5th up here. And I do have some reinforcements coming in. He did a recall, probably smart. He was pretty deep in a kind of rough situation. Those 2 Colossi still make me a bit skittish. He got a 3rd one out. He could build more. He's just now getting the money for it. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to invest in. He knows the strength of Colossi. He knows that as long as I stay on the ground, it can hold me off really well. Oh my god, the production tab shows nastiness. Corruptors this time. I like the damage that I did with the Mutas. I like the decision to switch off to the Mutas. Even with the Stargate, he wasn't ready. He only had a couple Phoenix, and in my opinion, I engaged really bad with the Mutas. I suicided in after the Colossi while the Mutas were getting hit by the Phoenix the whole time. Whereas if I can focus the Phoenix and the Stalkers, then the Mutas have free reign. They can kill everything, Colossi included. I was thinking if I could just take out the Colossi count, though, then a ground army could smash him. I really could have done that better and focused the anti-air and then used the Mutas to kill everything. I didn't do that, though. But I did get a lot of damage done. The Mutas did their job. They put him in a real bad way. They stopped his momentum. They re-leveled his army. Took it back down to ground zero. And now, I've got an air army that can deal directly with the Colossi. Because of this corruptor count, I can engage pretty much direct head-on with this whole army together. And the Colossi will do a lot of damage to my ground army, but they'll die before they take it all out. As a matter of fact, I think I'm in such an advantage here with this army size that, uh-oh, and now he's out of position. Even the Colossi are not with the rest of his army. And I'm coming in for the surround. Oh, that's nasty. I'm more than 100 supply ahead. There's Hydras in the mix. And the GG comes out! So this may not be the most perfect example of look at me, Mutalisks. Look at how good the Mutalisks are, because he was in a rough way right from the beginning. I actually didn't know that he was that far behind after playing that game, that his opening cost him that much. I should have been able to see that that gate was really late. I should have just put the pressure on and tried to end it quick. But the Mutas did play their part. Even if he was in the swing of his economy, I'm not necessarily sure that he would have had a lot more anti-air. And I might have been able to do something similar with the Mutas, if not engaged even better. And like maybe picked off some workers here and there on the outside. Workers active is not nearly as telling us resource collection rate. Yeah, this is that advantage that his build gave me, that his build mistakes gave me. And then here is where I got into his base with roaches, and things just really went downhill there. The army value, though, as you can see, even with a huge economic lead, and with the ability to step way ahead of him in army value in multiple places, he still was able to take my whole army out a couple different times. Really dangerous. Engage in Protoss on any terms. Alright, well hopefully I'll have a better example of Mutalisks doing well in the matchup, and hopefully I'll be able to use them a little bit better in the future than that. But there you go. There's my first solid example of using my new theory for ZVP. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!